show. Let's see what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Count, always the best guests in Midwest. The Two Count, great time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Meet Ace and JR, Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the Two Count. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the Two Count, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Count.
The Two Count. The Two Count. Where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of The Two Count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Well, look it. Tom finally got rid of Ace.
I did. I finally dug that motherfucker's grave. And here we are back to two people making it an official Two Count. This is going to be glorious tonight. JR, I'm in a good mood, man. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm good. You see how different I am when I don't have to worry about that third wheel named Ace?
Come on. Ace is with us. Here's the thing.
It's in like spirit.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing, man. I'm really happy today. It wasn't as hot as balls. I mean, it was hot as balls, but it wasn't as hot as balls as yesterday's balls. And you know, no more ball soup, no more ass gravy. Well, at least it's always good to be inside. Always good to be inside.
True.
We are hoping to be joined by Jah-C, and we've come to find out that he has a very tight schedule tonight. So we're hoping that he'll hop in with us here shortly, and we'll be able to speak with him. Jah-C, as is mentioned in our introduction description today, really is one of the most talented guys on the indie scene right now and super charismatic. If you haven't seen any of his matches, I encourage you to go to IWTV and track him down and watch some of them. We got to see him down at the Hall of Fame weekend last year in a tournament, and got to see 3 just fantastic matches with him. So hopefully he'll be along with us here shortly. By the way, Hall of Fame weekend this weekend. We're going to go. We're going to be there. And I don't know if anybody that's watching is going to come down and join us or not. We hope so, because I'm telling you, this is one of those events where you get to see all of these legends that have been really, hey, Zach, how are you? Good to see you. We get to see all of these legends that have been such a major part of wrestling as a whole, that have basically laid the foundation for anybody that comes after them. And we also get to see a lot of up-and-comers, really, that are going to be able to make their mark. And a lot of them you've seen on this show with us. Yes, Zach, we're excited to see you too, man. It's been a whole year, I think, for me. Last time I saw you was at the Hall of Fame, because I haven't been able to do any of the IPW stuff, and I think the ones that I was able to get to, you had other things going on. So it'll be fun to see you as well. There's Goro. Ace, Tom has
I killed him off.
I don't know if
everybody.
he's pulled a prank. I don't know. Rowdy, how are you? Good to see you,
It's
friend.
for the betterment of the show. I'll go ahead and take this one here, JR. It's for the betterment of the show, everybody. We've decided that even though in the song it does say that it's comedian John Russell and wrestling broadcaster Ace, and then of course everyone's favorite heel Tom or Top Shelf Tommy. We have decided to move in a different direction. So Ace will no longer be here on the 2 count. If he ever tries to invade the show, well, I will mute him because now I have control of the panel. JR has no control. This is my show. It's a full takeover. I have allowed the old man to stay because otherwise his life is a pathetic nightmare. And also because I, deep down in my heart of hearts, feel bad for the guy. So there you go, everybody. It's my show. Welcome to the 2 count with Top Shelf. We should just start calling it Top Shelf 2 count, right?
No.
I'm full of ideas, man.
No,
I'm just so digging
Tina,
this new vibe.
We are excited to see you down at the Hall of Fame weekend. That will be a fantastic show. He said his show and 3 people left. Yes.
That's hurtful. I mean, they don't come for Ace. They come for me. Everybody here can say whatever they fucking want in chat. I know what's really true, and where all you guys really stand is that you come for the kid. You come for the one true youngin on this show, and that's this guy. So,
You're not that much younger than Ace.
A few years.
Mm.
And Goro, no one's ratings are dropping faster than Raw's. Get the fuck out of here. And also, what are ratings on Twitch? I've been told this. I've been asked the same question. What are ratings?
You've been
on
asked
Twitch?
Numerous times. You got fired from a show because you didn't bring the ratings to another Twitch show. And that's like saying, hey, that's like telling a dog you're fired because you didn't bring enough cat poop to the show.
You know what? I will say this though. Since I've been let go of the other show, and literally, it was the next week I was here on you guys' show hanging with you, which has been mostly fantastic. 95% super top shelf, but those other 5%, man. But I will say this. Since me leaving the other show, I've had more people from that show reach out to me and say, "Oh man, I don't know why they didn't get rid of you, or why they got rid of you." I said, "It's because you motherfuckers weren't watching."
Yeah, it's
very simple.
It's one of those things. It's as we mentioned before, folks. We're hoping that Jah-C will join us. We found out that his schedule has tightened up on us. And we know that he has a small window of time for us tonight. Hopefully he'll be able to hop on with us, and we will. It's an interesting match too, isn't it? It's Flair and Andrade.
Yep.
And Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. What a mess of talent that is.
Yes.
Obviously Andrade will be doing the yeoman's work on that match.
He is a goddamn saint at this point in my book.
With Karen Angle.
Oh yeah, I saw that part too. It's like, oh man.
I don't know. If Flair just wants to stick the knife in everybody. I'm surprised because a while back I know they were talking about Lethal was the guy Lethal's the guy that was training Rick. But initially, Zach, tell me if I'm wrong, there was a big to-do because Lethal threw a fit because he wasn't even going to be on the show initially. And then I think it got, moved back. But yeah, Jeff Jarrett is the oddball. Absolutely. A couple different things on this whole thing. So Jeff Jarrett, man, he's like the fucking he's the number one newsmaker right now, isn't he? As far as wrestling goes. I mean, he's going to be the main event of Ric Flair's last match, and then he's going to be the special guest referee in the tag championship match at SummerSlam. Yeah,
this is absolutely amazing for a guy who hasn't shown his face since 2 weeks after he was inducted in the Hall of Fame, something like that.
I think they hired him, and if you guys know, let us know. I think they hired him as a producer backstage at WWE.
Well, McAfee mentioned it on SmackDown that he is the VP of live events or live productions, I think is what the title actually is. So, but it's a hell of a fucking card here, man.
Yeah, it's very interesting in my mind that's what it is. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think Ric Flair will die in the ring because I just don't think
he can die.
They'll put himself. They're not going to put him in a position where he's going to hurt himself. There's the Varsity Blondes. Well, you guys might as well just.
Well, that's another interesting thing about this is that Pillman's going to be on Ric Flair's last match card.
Is he?
He's not tagging with Garrison.
Is he tagging though?
He is tagging. I'm trying to find the card here.
For God's sake,
the hashtag is Ric Flair's last match. So here we go. Got it. So Pillman will be teaming with Brock Anderson against Kerry and Ricky Morton. Kerry. So that must be Ricky's kid, or grandkid, maybe.
Could be.
And then Robert Gibson is their backup, as Arn Anderson is the backup for Pillman versus and Brock Anderson. So,
Brock will bring out the Glock.
Well, so
ladies and gentlemen, right now, here he is, the front man. Ladies and gentlemen, Jah-C. Great to have you with us, Jah. How are you this evening?
Hey there, fantastic. It's great to be here. I'm chilling like a villain, never second to none.
That's very good, awesome. Man.
You got to forgive me. My camera here, I cracked it right before we went on here today. I dropped my camera and just shattered the screen at the most perfect place where you need to see my face.
Well, it kind of adds a little. Oh, go ahead, JR.
I was just say we could see it just fine, and we're so happy that you're here with us. And Tom and I were just talking initially when we came on. One of the greatest joys for me at the Hall of Fame weekend last year was watching you go through that tournament, and really, in my mind, absolutely killed every one of your matches. Even though you did lose to Jeremy Wyatt, you were a standout in my mind.
Thank you. I go out there and I try to carry the weight of the name that's backing me. You know what I mean? But Jeremy Wyatt's one hell of a competitor, man. It's always fun to get in there with somebody that's been around the bin as long as he has, and who has seen so many great talents come and go throughout our sport. And, to sit up under that learning tree and to test my mettle against him, because I'm someone who's young and hungry and full of piss and vinegar, and I believe that I know what I'm doing with this thing. So going toe-to-toe with a dude who is solidified in that regard was a once in a lifetime.
So you mentioned your camera's correct right now. I got to say it gives like this angelic glow to you. So in my opinion, it's a kind of a perfect little look for you there. But just to give you a proper introduction here, too, because I want to make sure that everybody on our program right now understands exactly how good you are in this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Jah-C is currently the reigning, defending Black Wrestlers Matters champion, and he will be performing September 2nd in Chicago on their next lineup. And then this previous Friday, Jah-C, ACH, the new AAW Tag Team Champions of the World. My goodness. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know what? I'm building a little bit of a collection. I'll give y'all a little bit of a sneak peek, too.
Ooh, we love title belts. We love title belts.
you gave me the two nods, and I'm not going to hold it against you that you don't have the whole resume for Jah, lined up. I came in a little bit tardy. That was on me. But I will show off, as I have been known to do,
Look at
the
those.
3 beautiful pieces of hardware. Look at that.
I'm so
We
sorry
got
that I
the
missed
pro
the third
wrestling.
one.
We got the Pro Wrestling Battleground Heavyweight Championship of the world. That's defended on the regular up here in Minneapolis and St. Paul over at the Walewski's Blues and Saloons. Then I've got this beautiful and historic AAW Pro Tag Team Championship of the world. This is a bit of a family affair, my wrestling family affair, I should say, to keep the Tag Team Championships coming. I was trained by a couple of legendary Tag Team champions around that guard. But this one right here, the Silver Smoker right here, I am not giving away ever, because I am the inaugural Black Wrestlers Matter champion, and more than likely will go down as the only Black Wrestlers Matter champion, because I don't have any intentions on letting that one get away from me, let alone any of the others.
I did see the post talking about the upcoming show with Black Wrestlers Matter. Over 365 days, what now? Pushing almost 400 days as the reigning champion. That is fantastic, right there.
Yeah. It's gone a little bit unnoticed, and I don't even like saying it like that, because it seems as though I'm owed some type of recognition, and I'm not. We all are earning every bit. But I've got to defend the championship, the Black Wrestlers Matter championship, against guys like Devon Monroe, against Mike Outlaw, Justin D. Xavier. That guy is a blue chip prospect if I've ever seen one. And hell, I even got to in Nebraska. My first championship defense was against JTG, and that was really cool. And unfortunately, Nebraska has been known for not being the best place technologically or worth existence whatsoever. So there's not much footage outside of a little bit of a fan cam clip that's out there somewhere in the ether. But I'm fortunate nonetheless.
Well, talking about fortunate, you've shared the ring with a lot of prominent stars. Just off the top of my head, you wrestled with Effie, who's one of the stars of the indie circuit. You got to wrestle with Andrade and Matt Hardy on AEW Dark. And a lot of people don't maybe know, but you were trained by two fantastic trainers down in Davenport, Iowa, down in that area. And one of them happens to be pretty prominent.
He happens to be kind of good at this thing,
Just kind of.
I think eventually the guy will get it all put together, Yeah, man. Sometimes when I take a step back and I look at where I'm at in my career and the things that I've done, I think we can all agree that life sometimes feels like you're on a little bit of a hamster wheel. So, the work sometimes blinds you from the progress and what you're actually producing. So I consider myself a little bit of a workaholic. I've got a lot of projects that I'm working on, so sometimes I don't recognize just how cool it is to be able to say that I've gone, toe to toe with a guy like Effie in New Jersey. I like to put it like that. In New Jersey, in front of a sold out 700 or 800 people. I believe that was the same night that John Moxley had popped up, man. And then going from that, I got into rough shoulders with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Billy Gunn and the Godfather, and the list just goes on. But I think from the viewership aspect, vantage point, because I grew up a pro wrestling fan my entire life, and the frontman character, it has been introduced to the live studio audience against Matt Hardy and Andrade Cien Almas. In the TV world of wrestling, that character's two appearances are against a legend in Matt Hardy and a soon-to-be legend in Andrade. And it doesn't get much cooler than that except for what we'll do with it going forward.
Fantastic. Now, the fact that you have been on AEW, and you were trained by Seth and Merrick, have you had any glimpses or interest with WWE to this point that we don't know about? Maybe.
Yes, man. The that pesky pandemic started to throw a wrench into my plans.
Oh
But
no.
you know, the pandemic got in the way of an opportunity to go on down to the PC and get a look at. But that's still something that's uh, on hold. But I think that when the AEW interest and Impact interest came about, there wasn't just one shark in the water. So just
That's
kind of trying to play it by ear at this point.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I do have to ask you this about working with Effie.
Yeah.
I mean, was it semi-hardcore? Because Effie does a lot of hardcore business.
It was hardcore from the aspect no toys, no weapons or furniture or chicanery, nothing like that. But hell, man, I was seeing stars when he had that leg wrapped around me in the corner. He was choking me out. It was a moment. It was a spectacle more than it was a death match, so to speak, or all of that stuff that Effie's been known to partake in. I fancy myself a classic performer. I'm more of a tackle, drop down, get it again, and give you a 5-star classic type of guy. Effie is a superstar in his own right. So when you get egos clashing like that, man, does it get more hardcore than that?
No, sir.
Well, so I'm familiar with you mostly from the cities here and stuff. Seeing you at Showtime, now it's Higher Ground. First Wrestling, obviously, I think we've all seen you there. You mentioned Wrestling Battleground. I gotta say though, too, I think you might be one of the hardest working guys I've seen in pro wrestling, because I was there the Saturday, July 9th in St. Paul Park, where you started off with the Higher Ground show. You kicked it off like a true champion, as you are, where you had to actually assist the ring announcer because he doesn't know how to work a microphone because, well, some people are dumb like that. And then literally you kick the shit out of an opponent there, and then out the door you go down to Pine Island to kick more ass down at AWF at the South by Southeast Brewery. I mean, that's incredible to me to do the doubleheader like that.
Hey, man, it wouldn't be the first time and it won't be the last time. I get a kick out of being the hardest working man in show business independently,
Well, and I'll say this too, like, because I've seen you at WrestlePalooza there at First Avenue, and when you come out, I don't know if there's a bigger pop that's not Eric Cannon, Darren Corbin, or maybe Thunder Frog. When your music hits, man, and they see you come through that curtain, boy, oh boy, that crowd goes absolutely crazy. So I don't know. Are you supposed to be the bad guy there? Or are you supposed to be the good guy at First Avenue? Because
bad guy, good guys, man. What are we doing? This bad guy, good guy, WWF 2003 talk, man. Like it's 2020, 22, whatever year it is, man. Like we don't get into the bad guy, good guy talk. All that I know is when my music cuts the speakers, I make my walk, I stand in the ring, on the stage, underneath the bright lights, and I proceed to dish out an excellent execution of entertainment that nobody can hang with. And that's the only thing that matters.
Oh man, I tell you that it's that kind of energy right there, man. That makes me not only just a wrestling fan, but quite frankly a Jah-C fan right there. Because again, from the moment I saw you, at this point it had to be like probably 3, 4, 5 years ago. I think at this point, definitely pre-pandemic. But man, like seeing your growth, seeing your trajectory and stuff like that, seeing where you work and how hard you work, man. Like, yeah, you're right. You know what? We don't need the good guy, bad guy spiel. So that's on me. I apologize for that. But quite frankly, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But where do you see yourself like next? I mean, obviously, again, you're growing outside of the Midwest as much as you can now. But where do you see yourself kind of in the next couple of years as far as, other promotions you want to be working with, or maybe even moving to maybe one of the coasts or something like that? Where do you see yourself kind of in the next few years?
I've got a big project that I'd like to pull off, and when I pull off the big project, I think the destination would be um, more clear because there's some awesome options out there. You know, really, for first time in a long time, I got so many options. But I think the big two, one of the big two, is where I will end up within the next 18 to 24 months. But I'm also, I like the idea of being the biggest, and not saying that I'm that now, but I like the idea of being the biggest name draw part of professional wrestling unsigned. I think that when CM Punk, just before CM Punk got signed way back in was that 2005, you know, it, it don't get much cooler than that. You know, it's one thing to be the top guy like an MJF that's on TV every week, you know, pulling in these dope ratings, and it's an entirely different beast to be, a Young Bucks level of popularity unsigned, moving merchandise, working for all of these companies throughout the United States, and really being the hottest chick in the prom that everybody wants to dance with. I want to be that. I want to be the hot chick in the prom that everybody wants to dance with, and from there we'll decide who's got the best corsage.
The greenest?
Yeah.
Or not necessarily. So let me ask you. You said you've been a wrestling fan for as long as you can remember. Do you recall what match it was, or what it was that just tripped that trigger to you and said, you know what, I think I want to do this for a living?
One match. Dang, man, we're gonna be here for a while because I love going into. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. I get giddy, really. No, I've all my life since I found it, I knew that's what I wanted to do. My life has always been a series of reassurances that I'm on the correct path. I can tell you that the first time that I found pro wrestling, my little brother was a wrestling fan before I was, and I was about 6 years old. And I remember I had a birthday that went down the tubes. It wasn't the greatest, so we went back to my grandma's house, turned on the TV, watched some wrestling, and it was The Rock in the midst of a promo or a match with Chris Jericho. And from there, I was a fan. But then my mom got us VHS tapes with, The Undertaker's greatest matches. I got to see The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels in the Hell in a Cell, the Mankind Boiler Room Brawl match, and then when the Cactus Jack door got opened up, it was like the floodgates were open because I'm a fan of speech. I think that's a very clear and character development, and that guy is very special to me. He's very special to me. Eddie Guerrero is another one. I can remember watching him whenever they would come to SmackDown, bring SmackDown to Minnesota, man. I remember watching him over at the Target Center all the time. And then I was there the day that he had passed, and I remember he was my favorite wrestler in the world at the time. And I'm just this kid up in the nosebleeds, holding the program, crying his eyes out because the guy he came to see ain't there. And that was a tough time. But then if you fast forward to, I'll give you this to button it up so I don't ramble. Elimination Chamber, 2014. There was a packed house in Minneapolis at the Target Center of some 17,000 chanting, going ballistic. Half of them, let's go Wyatts. Half of them, let's go Shield.
Yeah.
For 25 minutes, I watched these scenes. 6 bad sons of bitches tear the roof off of the place. And to this day, almost to this day, I can say I've never felt anything quite like that in the building. And I think that was the moment where I was consumed. And I was like, okay, this college thing was cute, but I think I'm destined for something else.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So just a couple quick questions here. I mean, obviously, you got on a little late, so whenever you need to dip out, man, please just let us know and we'll get you out of here.
Hey, tell you what, we keep it going.
All right then. So obviously, I introduced you as the current and new AAW tag team champion. How is it pairing with ACH? And then who are some of the guys you paired with in the past? Maybe not to obviously the level of success, but who are some guys you paired with that people might be surprised with as far as, whether it be local stuff here or some of the regional stuff that you've done? And then also, who do you want to face down the road here too? So who would be some of your favorite guys that you want to see again down the road or possible dream matches for you?
People that I've tagged with in the past, the only other consistent tag team partner that I've had in the past was a guy by the name of JT Energy down in Davenport, Iowa area. Together we were vicious and delicious, and we had just broken into the business. Actually, he trained with me in my training class, and that was an awesome time. That was where I found this level of comfortability and performance. And with all due respect to JT Energy, I gotta say, and to SCW and all those guys, teaming with ACH is an entirely different ballgame. This is a guy who has been and will continue to be touted as one of the best in the world until he feels like hanging it up. Whenever he feels like it, that's a very important distinction, and I know he knows that I mean it with respect when I say this, but it's almost like the Randy Orton effect. When ACH feels like being the best in the world, he literally can snap his fingers and do that. I've seen that. And being able to tag with him on a regular basis, and now we're champions, it's forced me to access this untapped level of competitiveness and really a bloodthirst for perfection. Really. Not that it's something that is imposed upon me by him. It's just that it is something that has grown and has developed within me because he's someone who I have respected so much for so many years. And now this opportunity, it's like, put up or shut up, man. I can't have this legacy be defined by ACH being the reason that I am an AAW Pro Tag Team Champion. He won us the match. We were out there. I have to do the work now and show up and rise to the occasion and be the backup for him that he's been for me to get us here. Oh, and as far as the future goes, man, if I gave you that list of everybody I wanted to rock under them bright lights with, I'll give you a couple of them just because you asked and you've been so kind. Dante Leone is a guy that I love. I don't know if you guys have heard of him or not, but he's very talented. He's making his name out there in the world. I think he's over in Japan doing some stuff with Noah right now. Mm-hmm. I like him. I like there's a few guys over at the GCW that I like Jordan Oliver. I'd like to see what Blake Christian's about. He's a guy who everybody seems to love and has been into for a while. So I'd like to see what's up with that. Trey Miguel. Oh my gosh, man. I'll say I was fortunate enough to go Mano El Chapo with Brian Keith in first half, the legendary first half here in Minneapolis. And if you fast forward to what is now about 2 weeks prior, I got to watch Brian Keith and Trey Miguel absolutely put on a clinic in Logan Square Auditorium. And I got to tussle with one half of that group. I want the other guys.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man. And then that's just the unsigned guys. When you talk about where I want to go when it comes to the big money, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, Roman Reigns, Austin Theory, Carmelo Hayes, MJF, Darby Allin, Ricky Starks, Jungle Jack, Top Flight. Man, everybody who Twitter and guys booking the territory thinks is worth a damn, I wanna tell them,
Beautiful. So, let me ask you this. So I mean, you're out working all the time. As Tom mentioned, one of the hardest working guys out there right now. Are you able to still kind of keep up with the AEW WWE Impact product that's coming out?
yeah, man. I'm a workaholic, dude. I'm a psychopath about this stuff. About this stuff, not in real life.
Yeah.
About this stuff and about mastering it. I watch pretty much everything. I watch AEW every week. I watch WWE every week. All products on both ends. I keep up with Impact pretty much every week. There are times where I might fall off and I have to depend on YouTube to fill in the blanks for me. But then I've also got active subscriptions on Fight TV and on IWTV.
Yep.
High spots. I'm checking out everybody pretty much all the time. Usually, most of the time, in full transparency, it's as I am introduced to someone. Like if there's someone I have not heard of, or if I heard the scuttlebutt about a show, I'll dig into IWTV. I see Daniel Garcia back there behind you on your green screen there. That's another name. He's a big favorite of mine. I and what's actually crazy, I mean to take a second to pat myself on the back because like I said, I really am a really busy guy with my own creative outlets that I've got going here outside of pro wrestling, and then the real life stuff that we all know, and trying to forge this path in our lane. Like it's usually on in the background like it is here while I work on the stuff that's going to make me millions of dollars.
Absolutely. I want to tell you this because I know that everybody and I don't know what Ace told you ahead of booking you on here with us. Tom and I are both stand-up comedians. We also love wrestling. So we know what it means to do the performing, but we don't have any idea of what the physicality is that you have to do, obviously. But I know that everybody draws some inspiration from somewhere. And I mean this as a compliment. Jah, you don't remind me of anybody. I mean, you are a true original, but I know that you're drawing inspiration and ideas from people. And I'm wondering what those might be because I don't see anything. You've made everything your own.
Thank you. I almost don't even want to tell you now. That's crazy. Thank you. But I will tell you, and yes, you did say that you were stand-up comedians, and you know what, man, that's my neck of the woods. I'm a big fan of what y'all do. The storytelling up there with a microphone and commanding a room is one of the most beautiful arts out there. Eddie Murphy is probably my first and biggest inspiration ever. When I was a kid, my mom showed me Raw and Delirious and his Best of SNL and all of those movies that came out. And when I seen that leather suit and he was talking about Goonie Goo Goo, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. And then finally, pro wrestling kind of muddied that water, so I was just like, let's just put it in a blender and see what happens. And then Training Day came out, and I had to throw that in the blender too.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and I truly mean it. It's to me and Tom, one of the biggest compliments was ever given to me was by another comedian, and he says, "You don't remind me of anybody," and I just take that to heart because that is really one of the highest compliments, and I mean it sincerely. Oh, look at this! Here's a late guy. Big Ace is joining us.
Hey,
what's going on?
What's up, brother?
Oh, he just threw the cat. What the hell, man?
He was in my way.
I know. Animal cruelty, dog.
No.
Yeah.
I feed him every other day. He's fine. Dude, I know you probably got to run out, but it's good to see you.
Hey, good to see you too. I'm hanging on for a bit. I'm having a good time.
Having
a good time. Plus, my date's pushing me back a little bit, so we'll wait for it to get finished, and then we'll get going.
All right. Well, catch me up. Where are we at, guys? I'm hopping in.
We talked about everything that you wanted to talk about, so now we're ready to start with our questions.
Yeah,
you.
yeah, Ace. We were able to kind of carry the load without you here, which means also you're not needed ever. So we figured that out.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
So let me ask you this, John, because clearly you're very athletic. When you were younger, did you go in for amateur wrestling in high school, or did you play football or baseball or any of those type of things?
Well, I went to one day of baseball practice, and I was like, well, this is too much running. I like to say I was on the football team because I wanted it was the first sport that I had partook in when I was like 15, 16 or whatever it was. It was the first time that I tried, and I wasn't really invested in it, but I wanted to do something, and I was friends with the guys on the team, but I was not good at all. Do not make a mistake. In fact, I was so bad that the coaches would let me practice with every position just because it kept me busy and it didn't matter. But when I found amateur wrestling at 16, that was it. All about grit and discipline, and also from an admitted selfish standpoint, I guess it's a singular sport. It's a team sport. We're getting graded on our points team wise, but at the same time, I'm out there on the mat. So the real test for what I'm able to accomplish or what my talent level is all based on the work that I do and the performance that I put on. And not to make it a me thing, it's just a level of accountability that it forces me to have. Not to say that I would, but if I'm on a football team, I'm not the guy that's winning it. It's a collection. It's all of us. On the mat, different story. And I love the practices. And the reason I started amateur wrestling was because I wanted to wrestle. I wanted to be able to wrestle like my favorites, like Eddie and Kurt and Brock, and I was pretty dang good at it. I wouldn't say that I was great. I'm not no Gable Stevenson or nothing like that. But I bet I can take it down.
I mean, I feel like you had speed, right? You had to have speed then.
I had speed. What helped me in amateur wrestling more than anything was I was kind of a bully. I was stronger than the guys in my weight class, so I was able to shortcut some of the technique and just kind of force them into like a cradle and hold them down for that count or what have you. I caught a guy, and I don't know the official maneuver, but we called it the sunshine roll, and he pooped himself. He pooped his singlet. He got to try. He was at I was 16 years old, man, and he crapped his pants.
That's something I'd be hanging my hat on, and like that'd be career highlight for me. Like I'd be like, you make a guy shit himself? I did.
Hey, dude, it was, but then I got to wrestle the next guy smelling like shit, so it sounds like and he don't know what's going on, so he might think that I'm shitting myself because I'm about to wrestle him. And I ended up losing the following match, so I wonder if he had a mental edge. He's like, this guy shit his pants already. Yeah. Then the son of a bitch stalled for like 2 minutes. I had him tied, and then he stalled for like 2 minutes and got the points. I can't remember the logistics, but I remember crying underneath the towel.
Man.
We got a question from HCW Sports, who works out of Indiana. He wonders, John, what makes you keep going after the bruising, after maybe not getting the reaction you wanted? What makes you want to get up and do it the next day?
I want to be the greatest of all time.
Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great answer.
I mean, you're well on your way, sir. You're well on your way. I didn't get to be here at the beginning, but I mean, dude, you just take over when you're in the ring. Like, you know what? You can't not look at Jah-C when he's in the ring. The front man is the perfect name for you. It really is.
Thank you. Chris Jericho doesn't think so.
Man, he's fat and old now. I love him. Fat and old.
Well,
See, that's the thing. Chris Jericho's not the front man in the business, though. He's a front man as far as his rock band, but he is not the front man in wrestling. That's the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Like he had opportunities to reinvent himself over and over and over again before you even got in the business, and he decided to never be this guy. You are that guy, man. You are the one who's the front man, the leader,
Hey.
if you will.
Let the people know. Let the people know. Keep talking it, so I
Dude,
don't
I've
have
seen
to.
I
So
tell
I
a
don't
lot of
get,
people,
blackballed.
See, no, like I said before, I've seen you a lot of different places. And I've said this about a lot of different guys in the that have wrestled in the Twin Cities area, especially like guys like Riley Jackson, JDX. We've had big cat Bill Williams on here before too, and you are one of the guys I tell a lot. I mean, and then the top flight guys as well, obviously. But as far as like young guys doing their thing, trying to make it to that next level, man, I tell a lot of people, man, if you guys are sleeping on Frontman Jah-C, you are doing yourself a disservice, man, because there's no one out of all the guys I even talked about there, you are one of the guys that knows the story, knows the physicality, sells, beats down the opponents, and then literally can get up and give a promo after a match whenever he needs to, man. I mean, honestly, you're so well-rounded, so talented, man. So I sing your praises wherever I can, man. And I tell everybody, like, you guys got to learn. Jah-C's going to be the guy, dude. Seriously. Like, give it, 18 to 24 months, man. Like, I mean, we already see you all over the place, especially the Midwest here, man. But when they start knowing you coast to coast, whoo, I'm just glad we had you on now before we got to worry about, fucking 3 months out of bookings and stuff like that just to get you back on.
Dude, I got to call your match with Jeremy Wyatt last year at Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, that championship tournament match. And I think we even said it last week with Travis, with TS the Aggressor, when he came on to help promote for Hall of Fame this next weekend. And we were talking about past Hall of Fames. And that was one of the matches. That match and Sami Callihan and Ricochet, two best matches I've ever seen in Waterloo, Iowa, at the Hall of Fame. And that was that match with you and Jeremy was the best match I've seen all year last year. That was a top match for me.
Whoa, hey, thank you. That's really humbling to hear.
It was amazing, man. It was an honor to sit ringside and watch that with my own eyes and call that action.
It's crazy, dude. I'm still not the best dude at like getting compliments because I just turn into a kid. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to think that like from the like 14-year-old kid watching Shawn Michaels and John Cena wrestle for 45 minutes while I was eating ramen noodles, dreaming about doing this stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm doing this stuff and you're saying something like that. That's cool, man. I thank you. I just want to keep it pushing.
Zach, I will. I'll get it uploaded in the next couple weeks here. I do have that show. They didn't do anything with it, so it's just sitting on my hard drive. So I will put that out. I'll let you know when I put it up, John.
So
yeah, we'll get that online.
So, John, obviously, you've held on for a little bit longer, so we want to make sure that we at least do a couple of things that we normally do with each one of our guests that we have on. So we're going to move into some rapid-fire questions. Basically, these could be wrestling-related, life, interest, all that sort of stuff. So it's a wide variety of things. We just kind of keep going, boom, 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 from myself to Ace to JR and back around and stuff. So we're just going to hit you with some questions, again, kind of all over the place, but just kind of keep it moving here a little bit, all right?
All right.
All right, so I'll start it off here to give you guys a little bit more time to maybe think about some questions, especially considering they're old as fuck. But when you were growing up, who had your favorite wrestling theme song?
Woo! That wasn't a Ric Flair, not. My favorite. Somebody gonna get their ass kicked. Somebody gonna get their butt whipped.
There it is.
Beat them up, break it. It was very to the point.
Heck yeah, dude. Hall of Pain.
Hell yeah.
Love it. What's the order? Am I after you? I
Yeah.
already forgot. Okay. All right. Favorite fast food joint after a show?
Oh, shit. Hey, go ahead and judge me. McDonald's.
What's the go-to, man?
Chicken nuggets, Big Mac, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not great, but you know, it's late.
All right. What is the most surprising show? For example, you thought, well, I'm going to go do this show, and I know already that you're going to give the people a show, whether there's 12 or 1,200. But what show you went to that you thought, I don't know what this is going to be like, and it absolutely blew your mind? It was because it was great.
So one that I didn't have much high expectations for that
Yes,
that flipped around
absolutely.
for me. Okay. Oh gosh, I don't want to say anything that's going to get me into trouble. Gosh, yeah. Okay. Impact. I went to. I worked for Impact, and it's nothing against their product as much as against it. What I thought I was being brought in for. I thought, I was just Joe Schmo coming to see what was up, and then, ended up being a part of their show, working with Steve Macklin, and that kind of flipped around for me, and like I only say that just because, from a fan standpoint, that's kind of hard to. It's a hard pick. I don't know if I've been to a wrestling show as a fan and thought like, oh, this isn't going to be great, but then it was great. But as a worker, I have seen some. I have seen many a mud show. Mud show. But I'm going to say the Impact one because I came in thinking that I was just a scrub, and they gave me at least a little bit of an opportunity to do something that is going to be a part of my story for forever now.
Hell yeah.
Very good.
Nice. So along those same lines, obviously you've been a lot of different places. What's been the worst venue you performed at, whether it be fans, building, whatever happens to be? What was the absolute worst?
I've wrestled this. I've wrestled this man. Come on. I wrestled there's a theater in Havana, Illinois that has had a leak for about 7 years. Right where they put the ring too, like perfect placement.
Come on.
Yep.
That's pretty bad. I've worked a fairgrounds where there's like 12 people at the entire fair and 3 of them were in the audience. That was really shitty. And then, and that's the thing. Like, I've got to say, they're bad venues, but at the same time, it's freaking hilarious because it's the stories I've always heard. I'm gonna go with the Havana, Illinois theater. That one was pretty bad.
That's
pretty bad.
Did it leak on you guys while you were in there?
Yeah, it was leaking during the match full time. There was a bucket until the matches start. And in between the matches, they would put the bucket there. If like the 10-minute match was like, whatever. And then the dressing room was way up in where they would I don't know what you would call it, but it's almost like the place was not a movie theater, but it was set up like a movie theater in that regard, where like if that was where the camera shooting, everything was at, that's where the locker room was. And it was just cobwebs and like dusty shit all over the place, man. And the boys just leaving pee bottles every which where. Bad stuff.
Gotta love it. What's your go-to for road trip and soundtrack? What are you playing in the old stereo right now?
Ooh, I'm the front man, baby. So I'm listening to a little bit of everything. I'm getting suggestions from writing partners. If I'm picking, I'm probably gonna go to something old. Probably gonna be like a Motown track, maybe some Temptations, maybe some Jackie Wilson.
Hell yeah.
Always gonna be some Stevie Wonder and some Marvin Gaye and a whole lot of Michael Jackson.
Hell yeah.
But then when I went to Black and Brave, I went through this heavy like 70s classic rock phase where I just got big into the Doors, the Eagles. And that wasn't the 70s, that was the 60s. But
JR's time.
Yeah, man.
You were at WrestlePalooza when they had Nerd D play there. Did you get to catch him at all?
Yeah, man, that was so sick. Nerd D, he was tearing it up. They were tearing it up. That was really fun. That's got to be on my. That's on a list of favorite moments, to be honest with you, because First Ave is always special, and then I'm just such a mark for live performers, people that command crowds, and seeing different approaches to it. And Nerdy came off, man.
Nice.
He has a full band that if you ever get the pleasure of seeing him with, it's amazing, dude. That guy, he's a friend of the show.
So that wasn't the guys that was there?
No, it was. That was just him and his DJ, though. He has like a full live band at his show. Like horn section and all. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, that guy's good stuff. JR, you're up.
You mentioned Eddie Murphy before. What is your favorite comedy movie?
Harlem Nights, because it's not just zinger after zinger.
Nice.
There's a story and there's a lot of zingers. And then the part where he's shooting the gun at the he's trying to catch him and he's shooting the gun while he's crying. He's like, "You're trying to kill my brother!" Pop, pop, pop. And then the little guy will go, pop.
Yep.
Arsenio shoots off 12 shots, and then the little guy to his left goes, pop. That one, Step Brothers too.
Oh man,
Step Brothers too.
Dude, that and when he fights the mistress,
Vera.
yeah. Gonna shoot me in the toe.
Yeah,
oh
shot me
man,
in the pinky toe.
I don't think that one gets said almost ever, man. Like,
no, that's such a great.
Not a lot of people know it, man.
That's a hell of a good choice right there.
Well, we're coming up on 8:00. What do you think? Should we do the Tom game with John and let him cut loose?
I think so.
I have a disadvantage tonight. I've only been here for a few.
Well, yeah, but it's okay. Here it is. All right, I'm gonna play a real quick intro to this, Ja, and Tom will explain it to you.
All right, Ja. So this is pretty simple. We've all played the game F, Marry, Kill. So this is very similar. So of the three hosts of us, JR, Ace, and myself, you're going to pick which one of the three of us you would like to tag with, which one of us you would like to have as your opponent, and which one of us would you prefer to have as your manager?
Okay, JR, I don't want to break you. You got to be my manager, all right? You got my JJ Dillon role?
You got it,
all
brother.
Right. All right. Big Ace, you're my heater. You're definitely going to be my tag team partner. We're whipping that top shelf ass all night long.
Oh, my friend has been said before, but I'll say it again. Anywhere, anytime, but also there ain't no way I'm stepping into that ring with you, my friend. You're too damn good, but I do appreciate it.
I love it. I love it. Ja, thank you again. I'm sorry I was late, but thank you for coming on when I reached out. And, dude, we can't wait to see you at the next one that we see you at.
Yeah, actually, give us a breakdown. When can we see you next? What do you got coming up as far as shows go?
Let's see here. Next week I will be in North Dakota. It's gonna be Time Bomb. Frontman Jah versus Kevin Koo. That's gonna be August the 4th, and then August the 5th I will be down at Freelance. And that'll be Frontman Jah going toe to toe with Effie, the aforementioned Effie. And then after that, it gets a little bit muddy, but I will tell you the most important thing that anybody needs to pay attention to is the fact that September 10th, for the second time ever, a professional wrestling company is going to be running in the Mall of America. And it ain't WWE, it ain't AEW, it ain't WCW, it's First Wrestling. I want you gentlemen to think about the magnitude of that, because there's not, well, I mean, I get excited about a lot of things, but this one is one of the most important things that I've ever been a part of because of that. The fact it is local, it's an integral part of my life, the Mall of America. Hogan, and then us.
I didn't know you were on that card.
Hey, you're on the card. That's even more exciting.
I am I knew I was getting
Is
a
it
free
first
fanny pack.
without Frontman?
That's a good point. It's not first without the front man. That's for damn
True.
sure.
I was excited about the fanny pack we get from the mall that day, but now knowing you're going to be there, hell yeah.
So we
What's
are
the
all
fanny
going to be
pack
there.
weekend
man.
at the mall? They
We will
sell
be
the
there.
fanny packs?
It comes with the ticket.
Yeah, with our ticket, we
Okay.
got a free 30th birthday fanny pack from the Mall of America. Because we got our tickets. We know how big a show this is. We bought them the minute they went on sale, bro.
So I ain't even got to preach to y'all. Y'all got
I'm gonna be at the mall all day, just eating myself down to that show till it's time. Like,
That's
I'm just
right.
gonna hang out at the food
Man.
court.
You may not be preaching to us, but you'll be preaching to the people here. So, I mean, I can't wait to see you there. I might even have a big old Jah-C as my favorite sign and stuff, just to piss off some of the other wrestlers and stuff. So,
bring 3 signs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Social medias. Where can people find you?
At the Frontman Job everywhere. At Frontman Job everywhere.
Perfect. Jah-C, everybody, thank you for joining us.
yes, sir.
Please come
Thank
back soon, and we will definitely see you at the Mall of America.
Absolute
Love
pleasure. Continued success, sir.
Awesome. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
you. Thanks,
Have a
Jah.
good one, bro.
Take care.
Peace.
Man, what a great dude. What a fantastic time
The
we had.
best.
Ace, I'm sorry that you didn't get to join us a little sooner. I did tell everybody that I killed you off, but clearly you're still around.
Ah!
So.
I wish I'd have known that. I'd have came back and been like, you can't kill this.
Well, but I said all that before Jah got on. He got on a little late with us, which is fine. You know, things happen. He unfortunately broke his camera, as you saw with that angelic glow that he had. So it's all
What a
good.
guy.
We deal
What a
with the
guy. What a
adversity.
talent.
And we
If you
just move
haven't-
forward.
And if you haven't seen Jah-C in the ring yet, look it up. And if he's coming near you, get a ticket because the guy is electric in the ring.
That's true. So I want to talk about this before we move into Hall of Fame, though, real quick, because JR and I just touched on it real briefly. Ace, you sent out a tweet about it earlier today. The Ric Flair last match. So
who is it, Tommy? What's the match?
So it's Ric Flair and Andrade El Idolo,
of course,
versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal with Karen Jarrett in their corner.
Okay, so here's my question. And the question in the tweet was, does honestly anybody really actually care about this match?
I don't know if it's about that match as it is. This card is pretty fucking sick.
Well, and I'm hearing this now, and I haven't seen the card, so if you have it, let me hear it in a minute. But and I love Ric Flair, guys. I love Ric Flair. But who shit on their supposed retirement the most out of everybody when they had the perfect send off? Ric Flair. So I don't need this bullshit. Him just trying to get a last dollar out. This motherfucker's the only guy that Vince McMahon and Undertaker came out and paid their respects to in the ring in a live arena. That don't happen for many people. Okay. I don't care. This is literally, he's just trying to pay off some fucking hospital bills at this point, is my guess. Or he just wants the money, but there's no need for this match. And to hear that Ricky Steamboat said no because he didn't think he was at the caliber he should be at to be in the ring, how is Ric Flair not take a note from that and be like, you know what, Ricky, because you're way better than I am in the ring right now currently, you're probably right. Instead, we're going to have this match where he's going to just do his normal shit. He'll get beat up a little bit. He'll do the whole boom. And then he's going to do the woo chops and whatever. He'll get a figure four slapped on somebody. Him and Andrade will win the match. Actually, that'll be the interesting thing of this match. He is retiring, and it is his last match ever. So in all reality, this guy should be going out on his back. But it's Ric Flair.
Well, that's
I don't believe him. He'll give him another 3-4 years. He'll do another retirement
if he doesn't die before that. Yeah.
Here's Tina's comment. I that's absolutely fascinating to me. Although it's not. If you would have told me this without knowing that Jeff Jarrett was going to be involved, I would have said, I think that's kind of a tough thing. But now that I know that Jarrett's involved and he's working for WWE, I don't see why Charlotte wouldn't show up.
I did not see any of the videos. The one video I saw was him doing push-ups with his personal trainer on top of him with a belt. And it really just looked like the trainer was just lifting him up with this belt, and he was just doing it. It's literally what it was. Maybe he was doing the push-ups. I don't know. And maybe he's training hard or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a shitty match. He can't do much. This guy was on the brink of death last year.
Yeah.
Legitimately, like, they thought he was going to die. And I get that this is an amazing story, the comeback, but also kind of like, shame on you, Conrad, for exploiting this shit. Like, this doesn't need to be happen. The only person who's been honest about this whole goddamn thing since it got announced was Jerry Briscoe when he said Rick has no business in the ring anymore.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. When you talk about that retirement that he had at WWE,
the best send off anyone's ever had.
Anyone. And I watched that not only when it happened, and of course the part that wasn't on TV, which is available on YouTube and everybody can go and watch it.
If you rewatch it now on Peacock, they just add that.
Is it on
now.
Peacock? Here's the thing. It is so fantastic. And it was so awesome that I would watch it back because I was like, this was so great multiple times. And then he pops up on fucking Impact.
And it was like emotional. Like, that was
yeah.
one of the ones that as a fan, you had a tear in your eye. You
Absolutely,
know what I mean?
you
And
did.
all his kids were there and everything. Like, it was special. And
It was.
Yeah, he shows up and does this shit with Mick Foley on Impact that even Mick Foley's like, we probably shouldn't have did that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, he was one of the factors when Hogan and Bischoff came back in to wrestling as a team in TNA. One of the big sells they had for Dixie was apparently Ric Flair is going to be involved somehow. And if you talk to Jeff Jarrett, actually just mentioned this last week. So Ace also too, I mentioned that Jeff Jarrett is like the most talked about man in wrestling right now, because not only is he in this main event with Ric Flair, he's going to be the special guest referee for the tag title match at SummerSlam. Yeah. So he is the most talked about man because, again, even this week, it popped up that he heard from Scott Steiner that Scott Steiner apparently had a dead-ass conversation with Dixie about, you bring in Hogan and Bischoff, you're going to be fucking done. And all the things, all the favors, and he rolled off saying that they're going to bring in, I think he might have said he bashed Nash or something like that, but
real quick, is that a heel Fuego behind you, JR? Did Fuego go heel? Why is he all black?
Yeah, he's heel now because he only has a week left on his contract. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyhow, but Scott mentioned that even bringing in Ric Flair is not going to save your business. They're rolling at this point. This is when they're at the height of their Spike TV ratings, and
they actually moved to Mondays.
Yes, to go head to head. And I guess Spike said that was a bad idea. Scott Steiner told her it was a bad idea because Jarrett was already sent home well before this point and was still technically on the board, but had no say, if you will, with TNA. So I don't know. That might be the only reason Jeff Jarrett is part of this match, is because this week is the fucking brightest bulb since he was the Hall of Fame voted into the Hall of Fame for the WWE and all. So
that, or it's really just the only person that agreed. Let's be real honest. Other than Jay Lethal, because of that tie, but you need to have a tag because, like you said earlier, a tag kind of feels like a cop-out, and it exactly is what it is. He can't go in a singles match, so you have to do this. And obviously he's going to team up with his son-in-law, right? And obviously Jay Lethal, who's been training, I guess, with him and stuff, needs a partner. And again, that's where you're hoping, Steamboat or somebody that there's history with. Instead, we get Jarrett, and then what? They did some promo this week where they fucking beat up Flair in a parking lot. Okay, woo. The guy made a career out of bleeding. That's not going to make me buy this pay-per-view.
Honestly, actually, some of the other matches will. So I'm gonna go, I think, in an order I think of more relevance than what they have, because the way this picture was lined up, whoever created it looks like it's kind of all jumbled as far as these are the shittiest matches on the card, and here are some good ones. So Impact has signed off on having their world title defended by Josh Alexander, and he will defend it against Jacob Fatu. So this is an interpromotional match because I do believe Fatu is still under contract with MLW.
Yeah.
So that's a huge deal.
Good question.
And also too, because Fatu, I think he lost to Hammerstone, but he was an MLW champion for a long time. So that's a hell of a matchup right there because Josh Alexander is one of the hell's best workers there is right now. So, and this is not, I believe, for the championship, but is a Impact Knockouts match with the champion Jordan Grace versus Deanna Purrazzo and Rachel Ellering, which is nice.
Yeah.
Minnesota girl.
Yep, a tag team match. Them boys, the Briscoes, will be going up against the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross. So, again, kind of interpromotional because I think the Briscoes are going to be an ROH tag team, and the Von Erichs are still in MLW. So, that's pretty damn cool. Killer Cross versus Davey Boy Smith. Killer Cross will, of course, have his wife Scarlett in his corner, so I'm pretty sure that will get Ric Flair another heart attack. See Scarlett there, or he'll try and pull some weird Ric Flair and Becky thing again. So, woo!
That's Scarlett.
Yeah, and then a AAA match here: Ray Phoenix, Taurus, Laredo Kid, and Bandito.
Nice.
4-way. A New Japan match: Clark Connors, who we saw at Forbidden Door in that what was it, all Atlantic match or something like that.
Yep.
He'll be going up against Ren Narita. And then the second to last one, as far as in my mind importance, an Impact Dream Tag rematch. The Motor City Machine Guns versus the Wolves, or the American Wolves, depending on if you're an ROH fan.
Oh.
So that's not too terrible, but, you know, in my mind, those tag teams are both probably a decade past relevancy for the most part. And then in my mind, probably the worst match outside of Ric Flair dying in the ring will be Kerry and Ricky Morton with Robert Gibson in their corner versus Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson with good old Arn in their corner. So that's the card so far. I'm sure it is subject to change.
Didn't Flair just talk a bunch of shit about Anderson?
Yes, because he said that Arn never called him or came and visited him when he's in the hospital.
And now this guy's on his retirement show.
Money cures a lot of fucking ails, man. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. What I'm seeing with all these pictures that are broken down, they have like the promotions behind them. The main event is apparently brought to you by Jim Crockett Promotions. That's the fucking logo they're using as the background for that tag team match. Is the JCP sign?
Oh God.
Yeah, no shit. My God, exactly. That's how out of it I think Ric Flair is at the moment.
This motherfucker is a 2-3-time Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
One of the greatest champions to ever live, and this is how he's going out. It's kind of sad. And again, hey, I know there's some wrestling purists who are gonna like fucking disagree and think I'm an idiot for saying this stuff, but I am sorry. Like, we said this when Sting came back, and I'll tell you what, I ate crow on that one. Sting's been kicking some ass, so I ain't gonna say shit about him anymore.
And didn't almost die 2 fucking years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, the last time we saw Flair in the ring was when, and then he looked like shit. So again, I mean, this is literally just a stab at him trying to get a payday. I mean, they did the stupid roast of Ric Flair to like pump this up, and it's
dude.
I mean, like,
started with that fucking Fight TV bullshit, $70 a piece. Are you fucking kidding me?
And that's just it. Flair's out. Flair's out for a payday.
Yeah, I know one of the guys that's on that fucking roast too, and he's not great.
But that's just it. Like, dude, it's again, I don't know. I don't like it. It shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be a thing. Like,
well, here's the reality. I mean, folks like us are not going to watch it. There are going to be some people that watch it.
I'll watch for a few of these matches. I'd watch for that Alexander versus
I won't.
match.
I won't.
Yeah, but I'm not going.
I won't page for it. I'm going to fucking find out on free TV somewhere.
Yeah,
YouTube.
and that's the whole thing. It's like you don't want to support. I mean, this is just me. You don't want to support this kind of stuff because, like, there have to be limits, right? I mean, there has to be. It's like there's certainly an art form, and it would be like if I was way more famous than I am, and I developed Parkinson's, but decided I still needed to go out and do the show, and it didn't make any difference. It's like there are a lot of people that realize that their limits tarnish their legend, tarnish their history. For example, Linda Ronstadt, a fabulous singer, has Parkinson's and can't sing, so she doesn't go out and fucking try to do it.
Correct.
Ric Flair has no business doing this, and just in my mind, it's like I feel bad that he must do it, but I'm certainly not going to support it. I can't. I mean, I just think that it's the wrong thing to do for the art form that is wrestling.
It's funny. The movie with Mickey Rourke, the wrestler, when that came out, a lot of people were like, "This is like pretty dead on to some of these wrestlers."
Yeah,
and a lot of people even said like they took a lot of this from Flair, maybe, right?
Yeah.
How'd that fucking movie end?
He died in the ring.
He dies in the goddamn ring. I mean, we don't see it, but it is
implied that he dies in the ring.
But it's definitely implied that he's about to die on that last one.
Correct.
Absolutely, Danny.
Exactly. And I love Michael J. Fox, and that sucks that we don't get to see him anymore. But it's true. He tried the one show, and it didn't go over well. But I mean, like, I feel like you're paying to have a 50-50 chance of seeing Flair like do something stupid in the ring, and then all of a sudden he croaks. You know what I mean?
Well, with all the
who's the doctor that's like approving this, by the way?
So
Doctor
it has to
good.
It has to be his
Dr.
it has to be a
Shelby.
cardiologist, to be real honest with you, because he's had a heart attack, so he has to get clearance for that shit, man. Like, you know, anybody who's ever had a pacemaker or a heart attack, they tell you can only lift, like, you have weight restrictions as far as what you can lift. Like, normally it's up to like 10 pounds. So unless he's gotten okayed by a cardiologist just to even do the training, because most people are told that all you can do is like a mild walk on a fucking treadmill, because if you go too far from your house, you might fucking die.
And that's the other thing is people are going to pay to see this shit, and he's literally not going to do anything. I told you what he's going to do. He's going to take some slaps. He's going to probably take one good hit so he can do his little fucking walk into the middle of the ring bump. He'll do a strut. He'll get one figure four in. But in all honesty, it's going to be the Andrade show, that match.
Yeah.
You're paying to watch him basically just do maybe 5 minutes of very light ring work. So why is that so worth it to see? Again, this guy had the great, and again, people don't like WWE, and I get that, but again, though, it don't get much better than that for a send-off. And that was a solid
up here, I'll pop that back up.
So, I mean, but as far as this goes, right now, that main event is the closest we're going to see to an AEW versus WWE match, just because of, again, with Jarrett's current position with WWE and Andrade being part of AEW, or even Jay Lethal being part of AEW. That's the closest we're going to get to any sort of crossover with those two right now until Vince dies. But which, who knows? Maybe he'll be at this fucking show and he'll die too. Huh?
Well,
dude, no, I'm kidding.
by the way, what the fuck is with Titus O'Neil opening Raw?
I didn't watch it last night, man.
I didn't either, but I just heard about it. Like,
I heard about it. I didn't watch it.
He basically opened Raw to just be like, WWE is a all-inclusive community. You're all welcome here. Like,
I honestly just really think that was something that they did because, you know, stocks. People who are not wrestlers or who are not wrestling fans but have invested in WWE are probably kind of looking a little sideways at this whole Vince business. And to have Titus come out and do that is an easy little clip, because it wasn't very long, I don't think, either. It's an easy little clip that they can send out and put in their emails to their investors.
And you pick the guy who hasn't been on TV in like a year.
People that aren't wrestling fans don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, good for him for getting a payday, I guess, but fuck it all, dude. Like,
So, okay, let me ask you guys this. This doesn't have so much to do for wrestling, but obviously there's that Michael J. Fox joke in there. I thought it was pretty funny. Some people may have taken offense to that. No one here, but someone may have taken offense to that. You guys see all this shit? Because First Wrestling had to put a comment out about this. Well, they just made a comment. But so Chappelle announced like a surprise show at First Avenue. Obviously, you two know about this.
Yep.
Well, because of his I guess he has some transphobic jokes. I've not heard. I haven't really watched any of the specials lately. Apparently, that's the case though. So like First Avenue caught a shitstorm on Twitter today.
Yeah.
Like everyone just commenting on fuck you guys and oh yeah, everybody's including except the trans, people like that and like just going off. And again, I haven't heard the jokes apparently, but like I've always loved Chappelle. You know what I mean? But like First Wrestling had to like say like, hey, we are not owned or partnered with any venue or any other organization, and we are an all-inclusive place, and like all this stuff because it felt apparently, First Avenue caught so much shit today over this thing that they felt the need to have to make a statement. And some other people were making statements, even, and you go on like First's stuff and they're using all the rainbow logos, First Avenue, but it's like. I don't know, man. Like, do you think they're right for that? I know that the Netflix guy I know Netflix caught shit for his special, right? And I know the dude said he's like, no, but I'm all about artistic freedom and all that, so I'm not going to edit it or pull it.
Well, so I'll take this one first, if you don't mind, JR.
Sure.
So I have watched the specials that people say he's transphobic on, and obviously, we had the bit of a conversation, last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever, about as far as how language works. And nothing that Chappelle said, and I've had this conversation with many of the comics, after the first one of the 3 or whatever that he's apparently transphobic on, I said he didn't say anything that wasn't already in the minds or the zeitgeist of people out there in the world. He's literally just talking about things that he is wondering and he's questioning. Not that he's questioning people who are trans and they've made that decision. He's just asking the questions so people feel like it can be normalized. And it's nothing bad when you look at it from that angle. But people who want to build things up to be more than what they are, which is so many people who do not listen to his material and do not watch his specials, will do because they heard one bad thing and they want to make that fucking molehill into the mountain that you see in front of you.
Well, and you're right, because if you look at it, First Avenue's hosted how many things that are, Pride Week and all that stuff. And it's like, you're mad at a venue for having this one guy there, but it's obviously this is an environment where if you're a performer and you're going to sell tickets, okay, come play this place because you're a performer. It's an art. Whatever. I get that. And I do get that. Unfortunately, in your guys' line of work nowadays, it's a lot harder to get away with things and be completely openly honest and say maybe the joke how it should be said, because you have to watch and step on people's toes for no goddamn reason just because people are too touchy now. And I get that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about inclusion. I'm all about anybody. Hey, man, you were born a dude, but you feel like you need to be a lady. Go be a lady. It's all good. I don't care. I mean, don't take a medal from them like that one swimmer guy, but that's
Here's an example of how shit gets out of hand. And I'm not trying to make anything smaller than it is. I was on a show with several people, somewhat like this. It was kind of a live podcast thing. And this was several years ago, but it was about the time that Caitlyn Jenner was going through her transition. And somebody said something, and I said, yeah, but what are they going to do with the Olympic medals? And they all looked at me like I had just stabbed a cat right there on the table.
It's actually a very good question. It's very funny, actually.
But it's and this is what happens. I have absolutely zero problem with anybody that's trans. I know people that are. It doesn't bother me. but these are questions that people have, and I think sometimes people that would like to have allies don't realize that people a lot of times don't understand what they go through or don't understand what they don't understand. And then it becomes this whole defensive kind of stance. And I mean, and it's not just with trans people, it's with everything in our society today. You know, there's either not a lot of tolerance, or
We'll see you
there's
this weekend, Tina.
uber.
Sorry,
Oops,
Jared.
sorry. Tina, it'll be great to see you. And we hope you'll be doing well and coming to the podcast collective that Tom and I are going to dominate.
Mm-hmm. Coming for you, shotgun.
Per
Zach.
you. Anyhow,
Zach.
so Jerry, I'm sorry, you were right in the middle of saying.
Well, I don't know what I said now because I'm old and I got distracted.
Dang it, Tina. No. I'm definitely with you though, because I know. So, again, we worked with several people, or know several people who are trans. I know, and for me, I don't know why First felt like they need to say anything other than they are still affiliated with First Avenue based off of WrestlePaloozas and stuff. But
my guess is people were tagging them and shit.
well,
I suppose.
see, and again, this is people who are trying to build up a hate narrative, if you will, right? So, well, you've worked with them in the past, and look at what they're fucking doing now. But the reality is, First Avenue is a venue that needs to sell tickets to survive. And they almost went under during the pandemic. They own Fine Line and Turf Club in the cities here. So, like, they own.
But that's the other funny thing, Tommy. They own how many other places? The theater in St. Paul, like the clubs you said.
Fitzgerald.
Ain't nobody tagging those ones and being like, oh, they're just so. And that's where it's like, you're just looking for reasons to bitch, guys.
Well, and that's what I was going to get at is the fact that, like, if you look at the last time First ran at First Avenue, First Wrestling ran there, it was their Pride show, and I was out of town, so I didn't go. But I looked at that lineup; they had several, at least Dark Gypsy or something like that. They're a trans wrestler. They had at least, they had a drag show first of all too, and then they also had at least, I think, one trans burlesque dancer. So they are clearly inclusive. And when people want to say, because you have affiliated yourself with one avenue, one venture, and then they might do something that you question, to then call out other people who have worked with that venue. I mean, again, you brought up with Jah-C, Nerd D is having his CD release party there on August 19th. Did anybody talk to Jah-C or to Nerd D about this? Or
because it's just stupid noise.
Exactly.
People just talking.
Yes.
And that's the sad part about it. I know I'll be there August 19th to see Nerd D. I don't give a shit who's playing that. Remember, to be honest, I like Dave Chappelle, and that's the sad part is where it's like correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, you know more than me. He's a smart comic. And he's a very, very smart man when it comes to what he does and his craft.
Yes.
So if people are saying he has transphobic jokes and I haven't heard them, I'm willing to call bullshit, because my guess is, like you guys said, he's propping questions about it. I've never heard that man actually be like, fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave Chappelle's not a guy that's gonna, like, he's always been pretty open about, like, he's just cool with everybody. Like, it is what it is. Like, be cool. So
Chappelle is kind of this age's George Carlin, really.
Yeah.
Before George Carlin got mean and shitty.
And hopefully Chappelle doesn't do that. Although this shit might turn him into.
You never know. Hey,
but the other thing too, though, sorry, real quick, is I didn't see anybody go after the Varsity Theater, and he's playing 2 shows there after this first half show. So.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I do want to say, because I don't know if we have anybody new or not. I was told about a new feature on Twitch that when somebody comes in and joins the chat for the first time, we can automatically send them a message just when they come in. And so I set it up, and basically what it says is, let us know where you're watching from and who's on your Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Just so you guys know that's going to happen. But we won't see it until somebody new comes in and actually does something. But what it does is it highlights a new person in the chat's first-time chatters response so that we know that they're a first-timer, which is pretty cool.
So HCW, this is a pretty interesting question, but why does sexuality get involved in this form of entertainment, for fuck's sakes? Why is it that we can believe The Undertaker was controlled by an urn, but we have... Sorry, it's a little hard to read here. But we have to be well-to-do, prefer to sleep with, or who do you prefer to sleep with? Sorry, but everyone should be allowed in this form to be whatever. You're right.
100%, man.
Sorry,
I got no problems with nobody, man. I got no problems with nobody based on their personal romantic lives or beliefs. I mean, I know people who disagree with certain things that I like or, may do in my life. And it's like, cool. I don't hate you for that.
Well, I'm not going to be happy with a pedo.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one. You know what I mean?
Well, and be careful with that, because some people are trying to normalize that fucking behavior too, saying that even though it's illegal, you can't technically tell those people that they can't do that. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
It's again, we've almost reached. Yeah, we've reached
which
that
is so funny.
Full what circle is and is not. Yeah.
Right. Full circle. Did you see Joey Ryan appeared on a picture of him surfaced a couple weeks ago working the Jungle Cruise at Walt Disneyland, and then literally as it broke on the wrestling sites that happened, that next day Disney saw the articles and dove deeper into him and fired him.
Oh my God.
Because they did a background on his real name. They never looked up Joey Ryan. So once they saw this shit online about wrestling fans being like, oh, that's the last place that guy should be working, Disney looked into it, saw all that, and was like, oh, you need to go, sir. You can't be here, sir.
Oh, my.
No.
Guys, we got a half hour left. Let's talk about the big weekend coming up.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, just to cleanse our palate before we move into the fucking greatest weekend of the year. At least for me, anyways.
Well, it's going to be for you because you're going to be with two great guys.
Yeah. Yes, I don't disagree with this. Guess what, everybody? Outside of the show, I actually like these two. Fuck. What? Oh, breaking the kayfabe.
I know. I even told Tommy he could drown me if he wants at the pool. But...
I saw which that is today weird. In the chat.
Very weird. Our personal chat got very fucking weird today because
you're the first one drowning me.
Hey, before we start talking about the Hall of Fame weekend, also, those of you that are in the chat, and I know some have left, would you have an interest if we set up a Patreon account where you could get some additional content from us, where we might, because we have days where we can't all three get together. Tuesday's the best day for all of us, but we might have a time where we might maybe like to hop on live, just one of us or just two of us, whatever it may be. But that would be something. Would you have an interest in that, folks?
I would. Who said that?
Oh.
Yeah, okay, be sure.
We don't know how much. I don't know. What do you?
Yeah, we gotta. So I'll tell you what, guys. Here's the deal, guys. We're never in the same room together a lot. So this weekend will be the first time that we're in the same place for 2 days consecutively. Yeah. So we'll be able to do a lot of show planning stuff while we're in the same room this weekend. And there's not Friday specifically, there's just not as many wrestling shows as there usually would be at this thing since they're changing it a little bit. So we're gonna have more time to kind of chill, do whatever. So we'll probably come up with more to that over the weekend while we're in the same room together. But if you don't follow us on Instagram though, or YouTube, you definitely should, because I think you'll see some stuff popping in there. Over
and Twitter.
Weekend.
Make sure you guys
and
follow
Twitter.
Us on Twitter too. The Facebook will probably maybe do a few things, but I think
because if we're in the elevator with Trish Stratus, we're not going to not take a picture or just shove a video camera in her face and be like, "Say hello." No, we would never do that. We would never.
We're going to make
her
climb
permission.
on my back, and she can ride me like a pony.
Well,
You got to pay for that.
all right, Genuine, just calm down. No, so seriously,
we don't
guys,
HCW. We don't have a producer. We're not that fancy yet.
JR is technically the closest thing to
JR
a
is-
producer.
It's
but-
me
JR 's-
generally fucking stuff up.
Well, actually, I will say, it's more like JR is our director. Ace is more the producer as far as lining up guests and everything like that. And then I just try and do some fucking basic show prep most of the time because we're also fucking busy with stuff, man. Like, Ace is running a karaoke night. JR and I are doing comedy here and there. And like, we all have our personal lives as well. So,
Yeah, and we got just some busy weeks, guys. We got some busy because we got Hall of Fame this week, right?
dude,
We
and
got
then-
August 6th. We got
Madhouse.
Wrestling. August
10th, we're
11th.
at AEW.
10th, we
Dynamite.
got AEW.
The
by the
14th,
way,
that same week, we have Bauhaus. So, like, literally, it's going to be fucking crazy.
We're going to be kicking it with Nerd D at Dynamite. Like, we got some shit coming your guys' way. We're going to be busy.
It's true.
This is some fancy.
We got-
fancy ass shit.
And we got an absolute second show in Waterloo at the end of August. Maybe another IPW show thrown in there.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
we're trying, Dan. We're trying.
Well, I mean, no, I'm sorry. I was just saying wow to Dan's previous comments. It sucks that people can't understand. Like, people have opinions, people have their own lives, and sometimes those don't line up personally, but you can still be friends with people, and that's pretty fucked up. So,
Yeah, I agree with that.
but anyhow, moving on to
That does suck, Dan. JR knows. Pretty similar to that is why I don't have the original wrestling podcast that I started so many years
Yep.
ago.
Yep.
Because of that same situation.
Just think where you just think where you would be now.
I mean, if
that-
it would have been you and I that started it and did that show back then,
Way
like,
back then,
probably
we'd
would have
be-
been huge right now.
We'd be getting paid like
We
now,
would.
and Tom would be an afterthought.
oh, you know
Tom
what?
would
Actually,
be like, Tom would just be a fan.
hold on, just to say also about getting paid. We didn't acknowledge it because Jah-C was on, but thank you guys for at least getting us to a level 2 hype train. That was fantastic of you guys. I know it was kind of like run by
tonight?
like, yeah, just by a couple people.
Way to go,
I
guys.
believe it was Random
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts, and I don't remember who else.
Probably JJ.
Mhm.
Possibly. But thank you guys so much. We always do appreciate the support. And not only do we have the merch store, but we have some other stuff coming along that I'm going to talk to these guys about more after the show tonight. So hopefully next week we'll have an update on some stuff. So
Oh, and we're going to see. We got the showdown this weekend, boys. The showdown of showdown.
yeah, this is already a
this is-
mistake
wait,
because
Oh,
I kind of
no. Here's the best part.
I
Neither
just
one
want to
of
say,
you.
first of all, that's not true. The statement on screen is not true. HCW, knock that shit off.
Here's the deal, though. Like, and I'm not even talking about your drinking match yet.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. thank God.
No. I'm talking about something else. If we get the real showdown, guys.
No. Here's the thing. He's gonna be busy wrestling. He's got his mind on wrestling.
What are you talking about?
I was talking about Bryce Jordan trying to kick me in the nuts.
No.
Maybe Ace is talking about the return of the Ace or the Briscoe and Big Ace show.
No. I'm not even plugging myself.
Jesus, what's going on?
We're finally gonna get a JR.
Oh
showdown.
yeah.
Oh, that's fucking right. John Russell here versus Jim Ross.
We're gonna have our JR in the same room as good old Jim JR.
I wonder how much he'll charge for a picture.
Dude, he's usually pretty cool about it at this weekend because he's used to come like every year.
Yeah.
Well, and
It won't be much, dude. Buy some jerky or something if he has it with him, and he'll sign everything for you.
Beautiful. I love it.
so
I mean, obviously one of the most
To be honest,
influential-
JR, I was just gonna say, and I hate that I cut you off, but like, you specifically are gonna love the chance to meet him
Oh yeah.
because you've never met him, right?
No, I never have.
Because he's called all the shit that you used to watch before me and
Absolutely.
Tommy were ever born.
With a couple of exceptions. When he was down at Georgia Championship, of course. But he didn't call a lot of the WWE stuff with the pre-WrestleMania for sure.
Oh, but he's gonna be able to go old school with you. You can go old school with him, and
well,
I love it. I'm excited for that. Probably, I'll be honest. I'm excited, but I'm not as excited as I was last year to meet Mark Henry. Mark Henry is just to me, and those of you that have Sirius XM and listen to Busted Open on the weekdays and know that Mark Henry is, aside from what he does on what he's been relegated to on AEW, doesn't seem real substantial at this point. But I listened to Busted Open daily when I was doing some traveling during the week. And I really came to just absolutely love Mark Henry. He is one of the top-notch human beings that there is. And I was so excited to not only meet him, to get to tell him what kind of influence he had on me, but then also got a really goddamn good picture with him.
Yeah, he's the shit. I was there. I witnessed it. Dan is not lying.
And just to let everybody know, too, by the way, when JR got on commentary this last Wednesday at Dynamite, and he mentioned that he's going to be in Iowa for the Hall of Fame.
So I didn't hear it. What did he say?
He basically just mentioned.
I heard he said it.
Well, they called him like the voice of wrestling or whatever. And then he mentioned just like a segment later that he's looking forward to going to Iowa for the Hall of Fame. And like he left it basically at that, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking be there. I fucking popped in my own goddamn living room like a goddamn child.
Well, what's cool, even more cool, is like he's coming back to be awarded. Like he hasn't had that happen yet, and it's the very first time they introduced it last year and had Soli's family there to introduce it. But this year, JR will actually receive that Gordon Solie Award. I believe it's Gordon Solie Award. So that it's and you know that's going to mean a lot to him. He's always been a big supporter of the Luthez George Tragu's Hall of Fame weekend. So it's going to be really cool, man.
I would have to go back and look too. He may have worked with Gordon Solie way back in the day.
Sure.
Gordon Solie was always a single when he did.
But I'm sure he was coming through at some point.
Yeah, he might have been. He might have been a backstage guy.
This is all stuff you can ask him in a few days.
Oh my God, yes.
So, dude, I can't believe it's that time of the year already. So JJ Dillon, Jerry Briscoe, Joe Malenko, Wes Briscoe, Colt Cabana, no longer Jonathan Grisham, had to pull out yesterday. Just some travel issues, and he has to be at a ROH title match the next day, and so traveling won't allow him to be there this weekend. Mike Bennett taking his place, stepping.
Oh, that's not a bad replacement.
Mike Bennett announced, though. That'll be very very.
If
cool.
we're all lucky, hopefully Maria's there.
They're in, I think, Nebraska the day before together, so your fingers crossed. Mike Rotunda, Thunderbolt Patterson, James Beard, Dan Gable, which living legend in the world of amateur wrestling and just a god in the state of Iowa. Jim Millboy Miller, Baron Von Raschke's coming down, and again Jim Ross. Brian B. Blair will be there, who's a big supporter down there. Kind of represents for Cauliflower Alley Club or whatever it is.
Cauliflower Alley.
Yeah. So that's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of fun. And again, stuff going on all weekend long. Podcast Collective Friday, 11 a.m. These two clowns are going to be on it with some other.
If Tom can wake up,
I'll be up. I'll probably be up by like fucking 6 a.m. because I can't sleep on days that are work days normally. I cannot sleep in, so I will probably be up by 6 o'clock.
And you got yourself a big fancy suite by yourself.
Yeah, and which if we want to record anything or do anything as far as the show goes, obviously there'll probably be more than enough room because it's a fucking suite.
We have a suite too.
Yeah, and if anybody was wondering, it's because I'm fucking top shelf. Have it by myself. I can afford that shit. I am cool. I am the best. Anyway,
I don't mind staying with my friend. I've stayed with my friend numerous times, and we get along great.
Plus, you're a fool. Why would you pay full price when you could split it 3 ways and still have all that room?
Well, because I didn't want to share a bed with either one of you guys.
Well, that's why we got the 2 double bed suite.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, we bring in an air mattress.
Oh, well.
You can have the.
They do have a couch. It just doesn't fold out, and it's kind of a fucking stiff ass couch.
Yeah, and I'm also 6'2", so I ain't gonna sleep on no fucking couch.
Why not? You slept on the floor in Knoxville, you ding dong. That could not have been comfortable.
It was not. No, it was not.
Ugh.
Why do you think I'm not going back to fucking Madhouse on August 6th? Also, I'm getting paid at another show, so it doesn't matter.
Malice. I'm telling Malice. He said. Anyways,
I'll fucking tell Malice, man. God damn it.
Hey.
Now there's the other big challenge that's going to happen.
Okay, yeah. So, well, here's the funny part. Malice is acting like it ain't a thing. Like, I don't think he's even really acknowledged.
Well, so I'm actually
the only thing I seen him say that was when you guys were going back and forth on all those tweets. His thing was, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, because it was supposed no, that was the thing. When he came on before their initial Madhouse show, the inaugural show, he mentioned having to drinking contest at intermission. But then,
no, I remember that. Yeah,
and then I think, well, I don't think we ever properly said, let's just do it at Hall of Fame weekend. So I'm gonna actually reach out to him tomorrow and just be like, hey, when's a good time for us to possibly do this? And we got to sit down some fucking rules, because there's really no rules to a drinking contest other than like go as long as you can and hopefully don't die. You know, like we need to set up some real fucking rules here.
Well, basically, you guys would just pick a spot and just drink because that's what he's going to do anyways. So
yes, I understand that, but whether like are we going to be around people, which we should probably be at least around a couple people.
Well, see, so that's kind of the thing is like everybody kind of just chills and kind of like moves along. Like last year, like he usually sets up a bar in his room. People go hang out in there. Troy usually has a suite, so people go hang out there sometimes. Mm-hmm. Karaoke bar is a spot where everybody usually goes together. Right. The restaurant and bar in the hotel is so much nicer now than it used to be that we'll hang out there now more too and stuff. So it'll be very easy to get this together. The thing is though, is like Malice is just going to be like, oh, I'm into this. Okay. Like, I don't think he's even going to realize he's in a contest. He's just going to
Malice will probably have been pre-gaming most of the day.
I've already told several people that if I don't have a drink in my hand, there will be water. And if I don't have water in my hand, it will be a drink. There is no doubt about it. Like, I am going to be pre-gaming, post-gaming. It doesn't matter. Whenever this fucking contest goes down, I will be trying to hold my own with Mel still the rest of the fucking weekend because I am an absolute fucking idiot.
Well, it'll probably have to happen Saturday night. Yeah. Friday's everybody goes to the after party, and he'll need to go with all the talent. We'll go. And then no one wants to be shitty the next day. Like, just do it after the ceremony that night. Anyways, so that's going to happen. We'll bring footage of that too. And then, you guys will be on the Podcast Collective. That's going down Friday, 11 a.m. I believe that's going on at the actual event center. Mm-hmm. Well, again, follow us on Instagram, Twitter,
at
Facebook.
The museum. Nope, that's at the museum.
Oh, it's at the museum.
It's at the
museum.
I have the whole weekend right in front of me right now.
And I don't know who the other podcasts are. I know Zach from Shotgun, I think, is on it. You two. I don't know who else has been tapped for this thing. So we might all be surprised together by who else sits down at this.
Maybe it's just us, or maybe Colt Cabana will be on with us.
I mean, he is going to be there this weekend doing his own podcast, but later in that day, so who knows? At the convention center. So 3 to 5 is the Art of Wrestling podcast with Colt Cabana at the Waterloo Convention Center. So,
oh yeah, he ain't doing the collective then.
Yeah, because that goes right up to doors opening at.
Well, he doesn't really do other podcasts. He
doesn't.
It's kind of been his thing. If you notice, you don't hear him on anything else. Very cool guy though. I'm excited to see Colt again. Always a pleasure. It was very cool to me and held on to these little things from my phone.
He's always been really cool to us.
Yeah, and he's buddies with Wes, so we were talking to him. And he's taking on Ethan Everhart. So big match for Ethan Everhart out of Iowa.
Yeah.
Yes. Another Waterloo boy, actually. So
Golden Boy is now going to be wrestling Mike Bennett?
Yes, sir.
Is that the case?
And then Jackson King taking on Too Cold Scorpio.
Yep. So some big names with the Iowa boys there. So that's going to be fun.
I can't wait. And then, so after the Podcast Collective, you guys will get to sign autographs and take pictures with the 2 count. I'll come watch. I'm not obviously. I have no plans of sitting in on the collective.
If you've been asked to sign a photo of the 2 Count crew, you're going to have to do it.
No, I'll be there. I won't. You guys will be up there just because. Then for Saturday at noon at the museum, Wes and I will have the Briscoe and Big A show live. Man, it seems to be a theme every year for me and Wes when we do our live show, and that is getting our guests. We've been talking to someone, but we have no confirmation. We'll try to make it work. So you guys will have to come Saturday at noon to the Hall of Fame and see who our guest is. It may be someone really, really cool. It may be someone y'all know already. It may just be me and Wes doing a Q&A. Who knows?
You
it
know,
won't
Tom,
be.
You're not going to be on.
It won't be either.
I can guarantee you that
you say one dumb thing out of your mouth, Wes will just fucking be like,
Wes will lay you out like a sack of dirt.
No, he won't. I'm pretty sure I get along with everybody. It's you two. It's actually everybody else but you two. Everybody else seems to fucking love me. I don't care about how many times they've called me as an opponent because they know it can fucking work. Period. But it's not because they don't like me. It's because I'm a great guy. I'm a cool hang. And they know it can go. Period.
Earlier.
Say again.
You're gonna have a blast with all the boys down in
I know. That's what I'm saying, man. You don't know what's gonna fucking happen. If Wes is
you're gonna have
Friday, dude. I'm sure him and I are gonna kick it off like fucking crazy, dude. He's gonna have a second podcast, Briscoe and Chill.
No, he's probably gonna say, "How come this fucking top shelf asshole won't shut the fuck up?"
Wes barely has time for our podcast. You kidding me?
No, believe me, man. I understand.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that noise. Wes is a good guy. JR met him last year. He was pumped to meet him. Yeah. Wes was pumped to meet JR. But no, he's a good guy. And yeah, so again, we're trying to dial in what's going to happen Saturday, but we don't know. We may not know until we get down to Waterloo and get it all figured out over the weekend. So just come to the Hall of Fame Saturday at noon. Briscoe Big A Show live. YouTube, Briscoe Big A's YouTube channel. Just type Briscoe and Big A Show on there. We just dropped our latest episode the other day, so check that out.
Yeah, man. So, you know what? Fuck, I totally forgot to ask Jah-C since he was down there last year. What was something that maybe people going down to Waterloo for the first time or maybe a second time or whatever, but what's something we should have checked out on the back stretch? Something that's not maybe on that main drag or kind of in the realm, but
there ain't nothing.
You mean like on the actual street? Like in Waterloo?
Well, I mean,
there's nothing in Waterloo you want to go check out.
Yeah, like literally no one leaves that 3-block radius unless
I've been told. I literally, because of when we did the Absolute show in Waterloo, you were pretty adamant about no one leaves this area.
Well, you saw the cars we were driving by going to that show.
Did,
one of them had like a shotgun blown out the window or something.
I will say though, going to the convenience store down the block, that they were some of the nicest fucking folks I've ever seen in my life. Because I did not make eye contact with him, and I kept my fucking head down and said, "Thank you very much," and then I left.
I don't remember that. No.
Of course I remember.
Dude, we'll have to hit up the what's it? Something Speed Brewery that's next door. We went there last year for lunch. They have they make the Dan Gable beer over there. Remember that, JR?
Oh yeah, that was
food
a nice spot.
Was amazing.
It was.
So that'll be a cool spot. Honestly, Tommy, you just follow the crew. It's not really about like a cool place. It's more of like it's just fun when we're all in that same place and make it fun.
Oh, believe me, I'm sure somebody's gonna drag me along to be like, "Hey, man, you're cool. Like, come this way. Like, make us cool." Yeah, guilt, fucking cool.
Well, you'll be with the your posse, Shanky and Bryce.
Dude, those boys, man. The boys, they're fucking great people, man. So I can't wait to see those boys and hang with them and maybe do some of that sweet, sweet top shelf life, baby.
I can't wait to just do sweet, sweet things all weekend with all my friends. It's going to be fun, guys. Tickets still available for the show Friday night. I believe all access passes are still available. Get them.
Like right now, so they can fucking figure out that dinner and shit,
Exactly. Yep. And so kickoff party, I think it's like 5 or 6. Do you have it in front of you, Tommy, on Thursday?
5:00. The museum itself opens at 4:30. The silent auction begins at that same moment. This is for all access pass required to go to the museum opening or to participate. I'm sorry, in the silent auction is only for all access pass members. The kickoff party, the social and party, will be at for free at Doughy Joey's Pizza. It's going to be appetizers, beers, and sodas.
This is on Thursday night?
This is Thursday night, 5:00.
And it says
yeah.
it's
Is that go with Joey's or is it at the museum?
I'm sorry. It's at the museum.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
The phrasing here on the website is messing me up.
No, you're good. I was surprised because I was like, oh, okay. So they're moving it there this year.
Special recognition presented. Jerry Briscoe, Dan Gable, Jim Miller, J.J. Dillon, other wrestlers and legends to be announced. So those are who they're already know are planning to be there at the 5:00 social and party. And then the Pro Wrestling Trivia hosted by DJ Trivia at GR Kitchen and Taps located within the Best Western Plus.
Just downstairs, boys.
Compete with and against wrestling legends for prizes. This is, again, for the all access pass. So this is at 8:00.
And we'll be there for that. You think if you're coming and you're good at it, come help us win because that shit was hard last year, bro.
Dude, I'm going to fucking rock the absolute shit out of this stuff.
I hope, man. We need someone.
I'm going to listen to nothing but fucking wrestling trivia all the way down. I'm going to annoy the fuck out of JR on this car ride.
Yeah, but here's what I can tell you. None of those fucking questions will be asked.
Oh, of course not. It's going to be like, hey, what venue was host to the 1996 fucking Roadblock or whatever the fuck bullshit?
We'll try it. We'll actually enter it this year, JR. Let's actually enter it this year. Let's see if the 2 count can win.
So that's just the Thursday, though. I mean, that's the whole night of just fucking...
Oh, yeah. We just chill
partying and just fucking around with the boys, man. Because... And again,
it's that excitement. We're all just getting there. Everybody's ready. So it's a party Thursday night. It's a party.
Yes. So we're going to see all of our favorites. So that's why I'm thinking, like, even...
I got wrecked with Victoria a few years back on Thursday night.
Nice.
Just wrecked.
So again, this is why you guys want to follow us on all social medias, because we might just pop up and do an Instagram live stream or whatever, with hanging with Malice or Golden Boy or Shank or
shit. You never know. It might even be Tristratus. Might be Jim Ross.
I think Death Dealer and Galileo. Excuse me. Good Lord, how many fucking drinks have I had tonight? 7. All right,
Danny. I'll tell you what. They'll announce next year's when we're there this year, and I'll get you that date right away. This is something that if you guys are ever willing, make that drive to Iowa next year and join us at Hall of Fame, Danny.
Yeah, and Dan, honestly, having gone the first time last year and getting to know you a little bit, not only here, but meeting you up in Minneapolis, I think you would absolutely love this.
Yes.
That's why I'm looking forward to the hotel where we're all at. You'll love it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It seems like if you can't hang at there is another one that's like a block away that apparently the Poors fucking go to. It's like a Red Roof Inn. It's only like $45 a night. So, see, if you're a baller on a budget,
cheaper by the month.
Yeah, you mean cheaper by the meth? Anyhow. No, man, I'm seriously looking forward to it though. I literally can't stop talking to people about it. Like just all my friends wondering why I'm taking, or work friends and regular friends why I'm going to be out of town. I said, well, dude, I'm going to go down to a wrestling event in Iowa, and they all kind of give me a weird look. I go, oh, it's gonna be fucking awesome, dude. And you may not even see me on Monday because I might be in the fucking hospital with alcohol poisoning. So, hey, all right, goals, baby.
All right, Danny. We'll remind you. You come next year. Get that all access pass to you guys.
Just Tom, wondering if you have an extra set of keys because I'll have to be. I do have to be back home.
So my car's in for service right now. I should be getting it back tomorrow, but I will make sure you have access to probably my room where my keys will be. So
excellent. That all works out fine. Because if you're going to be in a hospital, or getting your stomach pumped or shit, I'm going to have to. I mean, I got to go. I got work.
He'll be dead. Malice will have buried him by then.
Well, maybe. Wait a minute. Maybe Malice would win his car.
Oh, should you do it for pink slips?
Absolutely fucking not. Nope. Nope.
Well, wait a minute. You were just so confident before.
No, not with the money I'm dropping on my fucking vehicle this week. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm dropping couple G's into this fucking thing to make sure it's running back to where it should be. You know, that top notch, top shelf vehicle performance right there. So it's not going to be something where I just, oh yeah, fucking for pinks, yeah, dude, for sure. No, not a chance.
Hey, Jesse Towler, drop me somebody I should raid.
Oh shit, yeah, we are at that 9 o'clock.
Here,
hour.
actually, you know what? You should do this Jessie the Buckeye one. She's a wrestling fan.
Is she on now?
Yeah, she's been trying to raise money for like some medical bills. She went through a lot of stuff. You follow her on Twitter, you'd see.
Put it in the chat or something where I can copy it and paste it, so I don't have to try to figure out what the hell it is. Please.
Oh, she is live. Yeah, Jess Buck.
Big wrestling fan though, so she does some cool. She do some entertaining.
I was
Twitter.
hoping you might put that in the private chat because I can't copy it off of the comments.
Dude, you gotta tell me these things. I don't know that.
Well, I didn't realize.
I also didn't realize I was on Twitch.
I didn't realize I could copy it off the comments.
In the StreamYard. Beat
there
you,
we
Ace.
go.
Fucking beat you,
Right,
Ace.
you got it.
Thank you, boys. All right, hold on here.
Hey guys, guess what? We'll see you fucking next week and this weekend. Come hang out,
guys.
Let me do this first, please.
You should work on it. Hang on. Yeah.
There we go.
What are you doing? Oh,
well,
okay.
I'm getting ready to do our raid, but I'm going to do our goodbye thingy.
Right
and
on.
Then,
next Tuesday, it'll be just us, and we're going to recap Hall of Fame. Week after that, we've got the lead into the Madhouse show, as well as SummerSlam recap with our favorite rapper, Nerd D. Then we have another show without us, and then August 16th, we got Jordan Max coming back to the show, going to recap our fun week at Dynamite and everything.
Fuck yeah.
Hot diggity weasels, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for your support, and we will be seeing you. Bye-bye.